Right, we're live, hello. Welcome back to Tier 2 then, round 7, here in a lovely rainy Spa Francorchamps. 15 drivers on track currently. Maybe one or two more still on their way. But first time in a while I feel like we've had substantial rain conditions that are enough to actually affect the session rather than a little drizzle here and there. So, even, F1 Kid said, any rain for the race? Is there any rain for the race?
No, it's dry for the race.
Same with Tier 1 later on. Just a bit of rain in the one shot, so nothing to worry about. But yeah, we're quickly. Do you know what? While we wait for a couple of times to come in, we'll well, the weather as well. It's worth saying it will get drier as the session goes along. Full wet conditions right now will dry up to a light rain weather that allows a switch. Well, I'll have a look at the tyres now. What tyres are people even setting them
on? Most are on full wet, so there's three of them on Inters at the moment. Yeah, just full back. So last time we had full wet conditions was back in Brazil last season.
Ages ago.
So it's been, not the sprint as well.
Overdue.
Sometime.
So people are complaining about the rains, but we've managed to escape it for a fair bit. But yeah, going into the race, all dry. I imagine it's going to be full until towards the end. So these times are effectively worthless, but it's always good just in case you do chuck it in the wall towards the end. Slick come to the line then to be the first man to set a time, gets to deploy used.
Yeah, we deployed used very early on as well. I mean, obviously, he's going to massively improve on that based on the conditions alone, but at the end of that time, just getting the right ERS management, not a lot.
It's interesting seeing the amount of people that have chosen to go for full wets, which you would expect. Obviously, some people I imagine might just be pumping in a couple of laps on these on the Inters, maybe just to bed them in, just get the better of the conditions. As Robert then goes pop by quite a margin so far. Obviously still very early, there are 12 minutes left, but yeah, looking at last week, we'll quickly go through what happened, just if people missed out. What the deal was, Campa did win again in Zandvoort to make it 3 wins in the season, so he extended his gap in the drivers, so he's now 35 clear of Chocolade. Brothers worried that he wasn't still within the fight. He's only 38 behind, so still plenty of time for Brothers to get back in the fight. Gremic coming back as well, now on 60 points, 48 off the top, with Brothers and Chocolade within his line of sight. And then Alpine once again pulled away, so they're now a whopping 69 points ahead of Williams, 172 points up against Williams is 103. So, and then just worth mentioning, Sauber still at the bottom with 8 points across the whole season. So only one driver today, but Zaffer's been doing all right, so hopefully he can nab a couple of points. Qualify well in tricky conditions and then build from that in a nice dry race. But yes, still plenty to decide. Alpine look like they've somewhat got constructors wrapped up, but drivers, I mean, it all depends really if anyone can kind of peg back Campa and stop him from winning, because he's won 3 races, no one else has won more than 1, so he's just been able to gap and pull away. So we'll have to wait and see if anyone can do anything to stop him from claiming his first driver's title. As then Sean, obviously worth saying as well, Turbo Snell, Mr. Sean is back with us today as a reserve, and then Manic as well. Manic Panics reserving, although he's yet to set a time. He's in sector 2, so we'll keep an eye on to see where Manic goes in his first run. Bradders, though, someone that's fighting towards the front, is on the Inter, so we'll see how he does on his run, see if he can get anywhere near. The only Inter's time that we've got then is from Ali.
Yeah, quite a lot off the pace as well. Whether I've just cut how early he's gone. Obviously, it's been a few minutes since then, so Brad is trying to give it a go, but even then, I mean, you're looking at him, he's still kind of somewhat having to keep it a bit careful at the moment. So.
Yeah, look how slow he's going through there. I mean, you look back, there was another driver that was on the, was it 1 or 2 more were actually on the Inter, so someone's bailed off and gone to the wets and realised that wasn't a tie to start with. So, I mean, it's now getting to the 10-minute point, so realistically, there is that crossover that's about to happen, so quickly cut to the back and see as Hugo's in the pits
as well. Before used very early on as well, but he'll come up to the line now, so it'd be interesting where he slots in as one of the only F1 right spots as well. They ran a few corners, still look relatively slow, so obviously we're beginning to get to that crossover, and I mean, I think it's about now, isn't it, really, like the well, you can't really call it a dry line, but I suppose the
drier.
Yeah, the
less wet.
Start forming, and we'll start seeing the Inters becoming the fastest.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine. Gremic's in the pit, same as Slick. To switch tyres, go onto the green tyres. Got a yellow flag in sector 1.
Is that something like that?
Yeah, I don't know if someone's just flown straight out, but yeah, Rousers just started a time. I don't know if he was held up there at all by. There's a Merc, Williams behind him as well. Oh, very squiggly at the top of Eau Rouge. Yes, Gremic just came out of the pit, so I don't know if there's been something happening there between. Is that Chocolade as well? Yeah, Chocolade and Gremic. No damage. I don't think there's any damage, but yeah. Well, I mean, we'll cut back to Rialza and see what he's. Or just I say that I think Ghostface. Who was that? Someone just popped up the order there.
So after you set a lap to put in P9. So Ghostface is in the pits, jumping to the Inters. I imagine as well, like, that's the one thing with Brad, is obviously setting the fastest time on Inters.
Yeah. People now see, obviously, even though Bradders is one of the faster drivers, you just look at it on the tyre face value and go, yeah, realistically, that is the fastest tyre now. Only going to get quicker as well, so you may as well switch now and just see what you could do off the launch. Can rip through all your tyres as well, because there's no need to save any of your wet tyres or Inters for the race, because it is all dry, so. Do you only get two Inters in a session?
Yeah, I think you get 2 Inters, and there's something like 3 or 4 wets.
Yeah.
I know you certainly get a lot more wets than Inters, but.
I don't know if it's just a glitch because it's his first time, but Riazzo is purple in sector 2. Which you somewhat expect because it is at that point where, if you're on the wet tyres, you will be able to fully throw the car around.
He's about to go to full use already though, isn't he? So yeah, there it is. He's going to lose a load of time towards the end of this sector. We'll see how much that actually impacts him.
Very tentative through the bus stop. But can he get very stable on the exit, quite slow there, but to the line then, where does he slot in? Goes P5 then, 58.3. Still a big spread though on the time so far. Ranging across multiple seconds, so we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if things do tidy up a bit and get a bit closer. We've got Red Bull, who's this? There's Sean as well coming in sector 3. We'll see if he's on a time. I imagine, he's on ERS none, so I imagine that's a no. Yeah, into the pits he comes. And then I think we're cutting to, is that Williams? It's Gremic coming up Eau Rouge as well. Oh, Campa's coming to the line, so we'll watch him just about to get to deploy use, but should be alright then to come around the bus stop. But go to the line then, he wins in the track. Hello. But Campa then to the line then, what can he do? Puts it P5 just above his teammate, separated by 2 tenths, so very close between the Alpine boys, who look to be the team to beat. A couple more cars come to the line up ahead. You've got Rupsico just dipped into the pits, invalidated his time.
And he's invalidated his rise cut to the line.
Zaffa's in the grass as well, struggling to get it out. Whether he's just revving on purpose, I don't know what he's doing, but we're stuck. Yeah, Ali's then going. I was going to say, does he have enough fuel to go around? Not fuel, ERS. He's only on 46%, so I don't know if he's got enough to really go. As an awkward actually goes provisional pole then on the wets as well. 57.099, 4 tenths ahead of Bradders. You set that time on the Inters, but the Inters are coming into their ascendancy right now as Bradders actually cuts across the
when we see another decent Inters time come in, I'd imagine that would actually just straight up jump.
Yeah. Here we go. We've got Rialzo coming around to the pits. We've got Haas coming around. I think that's Slick then about to pull into. Is he in the pits? Yeah. Only it's just about to start his time actually. That's Slick. So who have we got behind him? Gremic. I think Gremic is on the time here. Oh, bit layer on the curbs there, but yeah, Gremic next man set time, and he's on the Inter, so where can he go? Currently with a 2 minute, goes all the way up to P2 then, 57.1, still, look at that, 4 milliseconds though behind a time set on the wet, so.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought immediately the Inters would be jumping those sort of times now, but obviously the wet times are lasting a bit longer than first thought. I mean, it's fair to say as well, Campa's is he coming towards the end of the lap now? He's still on the wet tyres, and he's not got any laps on these wet tyres yet. So whether or not he's actually looking to finish it,
no, it was showing he was 7 tenths up in the second sector. So even with that improvement, he wasn't going to get pole. So I mean, it's either just people fumbling a bit, or it's just a genuinely good time from from awkward on those tyres. Nitro's next man up, and he's on the Interscope. Gets a bit out of shape though, going through the bus stop, but to the line there, where can he go? He's currently sat in P9 with a 58.6. How much improvement can he find? Finds a lot, then goes all the way up. Yeah, look at that gap. That's the gap you're talking about. Gets a time hooked up on those Inters, and he gets a massive gap in terms of that. And
Hugo's jumped in as well, yeah.
Still a half a second gap between the V-carbs though, so good time from Nitro then to go P1 currently. Then provisional pole sitter, there he is. Paul said, where's K1? The master of the West. He wants to be
Gremmick showed 2.2 up as well, so well, is that going to put him in the... Yeah, that's going to put him about well, just short of Nitro's time at the moment. Obviously time left to be found in the final section. If he can find that, you'd imagine this could be a lap going to the top for now.
Slick's invalidated just ahead on track as well, so no time going on the board for him. 4 minutes left, so still time if someone wants to chuck it into the pits and come back out just about. Last corner then, where does Gremmick go? Currently P4, but he is on the new tyres. Yeah, provisional pole then, by 2 tenths then, so far above Nitro. Any time coming from behind.
See if that time stands any chance of holding out as more times come in, because obviously everyone's sort of going to be looking to try and cross the line, being towards one of the final 2 cars. But whether or not it's going to make a huge difference from now to the end of the session.
Yeah. We've got many times Ghostface getting ready to go for his, well, it might be his final run at this point. Yeah, it will be. Chocolada is coming around sector 2 as well, so we'll see what his sector time is looking like. Keeps it within track limits. He's 2.8 seconds up. Oh, massively out of shape though as he comes around to Blanchimont though, so it's going to cost him time. Bradders then, wow, what a time as well. Look at the gap he's pulled there on Gremmick. 52.9 from the man that's P3 in the standings.
The one thing that's very surprising about that time is I went on board with it right towards the end, and he spent ages on deploy use.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very surprised he managed to clear it by such a distance. But the one thing to say, he's in flashing red for low fuel. So I don't know if he's going to get round back in and back out in time. At which point are we going to see everyone jumping if the track does dry up a bit more? I suppose we'll find out, but it could be in trouble.
Who says that Ghostface coming to the line? Who's this? Got loads of cars coming around sector 3 now, so we'll Gremmick pulls aside there, get ready to start his last lap. 2 minutes left, so still time people to set times. Brothers is done. Well, it's Robert who's coming to the line, so I've got a couple of cars up ahead, so we're keeping an eye on the timing boards to see if anyone does fall out of the order. Crunch point now, where times will be getting a lot quicker. Slick goes up to P4. Where does Robert go? Provisional pole then, 52.9, just above Bradders, who's retired in the pits. So that's Bradders unable to fend back and see if he can defend that. That is Robert Compagnassi then, currently set for pole position. Unless anyone behind is improving and can set time still.
I don't think Bradders actually made it back to the pit, so I don't know whether or not he had a moment on track or just realised what the situation was and just retired. I don't know which one it was. I don't think he was back.
Oh, he's just said bro in the chat, so I don't know if he's chucked in a wall. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Bradders has said he's the quickest. Well, you're not, because you're not getting pole. He was getting round.
Oh, he's in like that. It's not okay. I was worried he was going to set a time, so obviously he's meant to be doing quality. So.
Yeah, Rupsy, if you're listening, you shouldn't be just setting times for the sake of setting times, because I mean it isn't a real hardship, I guess. Cause
yeah, as long as he doesn't actually put a time lap on the board and isn't blocking people, I think.
Yeah, we'll let him off on. Yeah. If we got deep in a lap, we got Rialza 7 tenths up. So again, there's not really. I mean, yeah, he's on. That's. I just realised that's 7 tenths up, and he's on. No, but he's on none of the rest, so he's just getting ready to go again.
I was going to see there's beginning to be quite a few yellow flags around sector 2 towards sector 3 now. I think people are backing off. Try to be allowed to Ghostface are having quite a few moments there. Quite a few tenths doing that, but I think this is going to be his final lap. He's not backed off, so I think he's going to be the man to watch and see where he's going to put it for now. I think everyone else is trying to wait for time with that.
Everyone's flying around, Chocolade's done. He's dead at Rouge, yeah, so that's Chocolade for that best then. But lots of people looking like they're going to improve behind. Ghostface to the line, where does he go? Puts it up to P4, immediately jumps in. Plenty of cars behind. You've got Gremick, who's invalidated. He might just make the line again. No, he's not. Gremick 7th at best then. Who else have we got?
Time and only gone P3 as well, so that's him over and done with in P3. So Brad's time, I thought he'd gone too early, but Brad's time is going to be holding up as it stands. He's going to just about miss out on pole at this rate. But I thought we would see more people improve. We might yet.
Got Sean 4.6 seconds up currently. So this is going to put him in the mix. If he can keep it through. Where does he go then? Provisional pole, 51.9, so time's still coming down. Where does Ali go? Ali goes 5th. We've got a Merc coming up to the line. It's going to be Manic. Currently set in P15. Deploy usage as well for him. Red Bull 1-2 currently as well, so looking very strong for them. Where does Manic go? Up to the line. Puts it P7. Zafra as well. Has he got any time left to do? No, he doesn't improve in his time. We've got two last couple of cars. We've got Awkward, he was looking good early on in the session. Where does he go? Puts it P2. Repsicola obviously won't set his time. All eyes then turn to people like Campa, who I don't think it was. He's showing 2.9 seconds down. I don't know if that's completely accurate. Riauza then. Let's have a look at Riauza and see where he can chuck it. Currently set P15. Always the man that does these weird strategies in sessions, running the mediums, and then leaves all the pressure. But where can he go now? Goes P6 just behind his teammate, who is still on a lap, so we'll flick back to him. Ghostface showing down in his time as well. Chucks it into the bus stop. Where can he go as well? Is there any improvement left on the table for Ghostface? Time will tell. Here he comes. No.
He got to the line next then to see where he jumps to P3.
Oh, it's P3. He is a man who loves the wet conditions. And that's just done then. Yeah, Slick won't improve because he's run out of fuel, so Sean is returning then, bags a pole position. Awkward jumped in, separated little Red Bull train that we're going on there, puts it P2. Hugo, man is best in the West, loves the wet conditions, P3. Robert, P4. Bradis looked good for pole, but just either put it in the wall or just didn't time it that well, ends up P5.
Yeah, I think he showed the pace that you say that he should have had pole today if he did it that right at the end, but obviously it's only P5 where he's giving everyone else a couple of extra minutes.
There he is then. Brad is just ahead of the Alpines as well, so does what he needed to do in terms of that championship fight. Ali then P8, Zafra P9, Manic, that rounds out your top 10. Behind that, got some big names towards the back, honestly. You got Ghostface 11th, Chocolade 12th after retiring at Eau Rouge, Gremick all the way down to 13th, then Slick and Nitro and Repsicola serving his quali ban. So lots still occurring here, so honestly I feel like it's going to be one of these races that, you know, dry conditions as well. You've got people like Chocolade, Gremick, Ghostface that have that pace that you know they're going to try and push through, so something to look out for as we go into the main race then, to see who can fly through. Manic happy in the chat saying I take a P10. Yeah, solid effort then in mixed conditions. Obviously you just got to be on the ball when sessions are like this, and you've just got to time your laps perfectly, be on the right side at the right time. Paul said it could be spicy. It could. We'll have a see. Obviously Sean back again. I think he's a wheel user now, but back on pad for this, so we'll have to see how he fares in full race trim.
Yeah, he's just said that it's one of his first times being back on pad for a while, so he's expected to somewhat have a bit of a struggle in the race, but we'll see whether or not, you know, that proves to be true, or if he can try and hold up there.
I would say he's one of those drivers like Constello where it's sometimes a bit hard to know when to place which tier to place him in. But I guess you could say the same about, you know, the Italians in Campa, Gremick, even Brad is, you know, holding two seats across tier 1 and tier 2. So got good pace drivers that are kind of on that cusp and could get placed in either. So no question really of a stat pad here. I just think it's fair to say it's legit that he's set that time fairly up against some competitive drivers. So still refares in the full race gym. You imagine if people have the pace in Spa, there could be some form of trains gathering, so it all depends on the strat as well. So as soon as we get round 2, we'll flick onto the tyres and see who's doing what for the main race. We're saying as well again, it is dry, full dry today in the race, so if people did choose to use the wet tyres, they could just rip them all in quali. But here come the lights, and 5 lights are there, ready to go out. And there they go then, lights out. And yeah, Awkward, look at the Awkward got an awful start down to turn 1. Sean is clear, a bit laggy through turn 1. Lagging all over the place actually. Collision behind, I think Robert.
Red Bull that's got sent into it. Yeah, it's Robert.
He's all the way at the back. He's getting swamped. He's going to drop all the way down to 15th. Rupsi Cola, just the only car that can't get past him.
He somewhat kept it stable as well when he was through the gravel. It just shows how much time he lost.
Wow, yeah. Just look at Sean, how much he's lagging at the front end. That's just for me. But that's Lando Norris-esque. Oh, and just as I go on board with Campa, clips the back of the car head.
Towards the wall. It's both Mercs and is there Williams involved as well? Yeah, so it's Manic, Chocolate and Ghostface all into the wall.
Look, they got a reserve driver in it for the day. And they both ended in a wall.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like they might have just
Williams was part of that collision in Corset, or just got corrected by both Mercs.
Yeah, he seemed to have been spun a bit further on, so I don't know if he'd kind of instigated the collision and then Manic and Chocolate had locked tyres and then went into the wall. I don't know.
Manic's going to certainly need to replace that front wing. Chocolate's missing an end plate, so we're going to have to see them double stack.
Oh my god. There is a bit of a gap towards them, but I mean, yeah, with a wing change, that is obviously going to eat away at that gap anyway. Already breaking the train as well.
Okay, though.
But just the gap is at 5.2. And then tyre-wise, what are we saying for tyres? Softs and mediums. Ghostface the only one on the hards as well, so going long. Trying the different strategy, not what he would have wanted. But in terms of the fight at the front, a couple of soft runners. Hugo losing a bit of ground off the start because he is on the hard tyres. Beautiful move actually from Brothers, who's trying to go around that side of Hugo there, but a bit of contact. I think he's going to make it stick. Yeah, there 3 goes then. Campa looking for a move as well.
Awkward's gone round at turn 1. I don't know what's happened here. He's losing a whole bunch of places there. Someone else having a moment, I think. Is that Lick as well? Had a moment?
Look at the gap. Look at the gap that Sean's gathered as well with that collision from Awkward. 2.1 seconds now, he's up the road. Looking very good already from Mr. Turbo Snail. As the the Astons swap around then. Brad is then leading the way on the mediums as well, on a charge then, see if he can make any dent up towards Sean up in front. So we'll have to see how that works out. Obviously, strategy, well, it depends. Does he go for a little medium hards or something? So time will tell to see what happens later on in the race and who's on that optimal strategy. Cars are running 2 and 2 up here as well. Alpine's running 4th and 5th with the Astons just ahead running 2nd and 3rd. So potential team scrap happening here. Aston's running well in the constructors as well, but Alpines are the team to beat. So running well again with both their cars. We've got a car actually in the gravel. Oh, just like go move. Ali's had a little moment.
Ali, isn't it? Yeah.
Both Alpines have had him. I don't know if Brad has had a little moment as well. He's somewhat closing on Sean. But like a 10th or so that lap, so we'll keep an eye on that gap, see if he can get it anywhere close to DRS territory in the next couple of laps. But
because at the end of the Camel Straight, it was down to come at like 1.4 or something. So whether or not that was just the impact, of course, Bradders was able to have DRS because he was behind Ali at the time. So whether or not it was just the DRS impact having them close together. But that said, I mean, I think also the lag isn't helping because that just dropped to 1.4 and then immediately back to 1.9.
Yeah. Good scrap happening here between Nitro and Zafra as well. As Zafra goes a bit deep into turn 1. Nitro tries to switch back but catches the back of him, can't do that, so Zafra keeps P10 for now but will be under threat. Although we might have DRS though going up through Eau Rouge up onto the Camel. Quickly flick through the order, and I think there is a move then. Campa championship leader getting past P3 in the standings. Alpine look from another move behind as well.
Looking for it as well, yeah, good move up the side. He's
most of the team. Yeah, just a little wheel bang, but nothing, no hardship done there. As Ali's already got a 3-second penalty. I wonder if one of those was when he went miles off, which I was going to say it could come off, but no, at the end of the day, it's his own mistake.
If it's driver error and it's giving him one, then yeah. If obviously he's been hit off, it's different. But yeah, if it's driver error, then it's just one of those. It's painful when you get one when you lose so much time. But
so all within the space of like a lap and a half, 2 laps, the Alpines and the Astons are fully swapped round. Look, I just keep seeing that Turbo's really lagging up here because it looked like on my screen it looked like he was in the gravel and then all of a sudden he's just I mean, the gaps have come right down again, but it's just whether this is lag or not. Yeah, it's gone back up again by 3-4 tenths, so it's going to be a really weird one when it gets close down to that DRS window, and whether they feel like they've been baited. Don't get DRS win there within a second, because then he's just lagged back.
Yeah.
Train is somewhat connected itself all the way down to Nitro, then it's that gap of 2.2.
Going really wide into the bus stop there. They're going to lose a heap of time. It's going to be a terrible exit for him if his teammate gets through reality.
Then Bradders is going to try a little daring move into turn 1 that doesn't go for it, thinks better, but yeah, you're right, look at that, they've lost another couple of tenths just there alone, so Turbo just keeping them at arm's width to do what he needs to do. So he goes up over Rouge there up ahead, so still within sight though. Bradders has a good chance here of getting all the way through into P2 again, getting very aggressive. Down the Kemmel, it does, gets both Alpines there with a little ERS burn. Still got 40% left in the tank there as well, so good work from him, trying to make those mediums pay off at this stage of the race as well, obviously knowing that there's a chance he can go to a softer compound towards the end, so still on the cards here for Bradders, still looking very good. Obviously feels that he could have done better in quali, felt like he was the quickest driver, but just because of timings and a failure to set a time right at the end of the session meant he to qualify slightly out of position for what he believed he could have set, so 1.4, look at that gap, it's right down. It's just whether this is going to lag spike back up, but he's really close this gap down. Yeah, look, he looked like he was off track again there. I mean, this is 1.5. I think
that's the lag showing he was off track, but certainly the gap had come down.
Yeah. I was going to say this is tight, it might just be tyre differential, but Campa's still keeping, you know, relatively close to him. I mean, he's lost a bit through coming into sector 3, but yeah, Bradders has got this gap right down by a couple of tenths this lap alone, so Bradders looking very good so far in the harder compounds compared to Sean up ahead.
Because we saw it last lap as well, the gap was coming down a fair amount until suddenly Campa ran really deep into the bus stop. So without that, the gap would have come down a fair amount, but this time they're going to be close enough for DRS.
Fastest lap, yeah, whether it glitches or not, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it doesn't. We can have a little scrap here of the train, then fully reconnect him, Sean, in this scrap. I just hope him being...
at this point he's 100%. It's probably lagging side to side, so I hope he doesn't cause too much trouble, but Bradders is certainly going to be close enough to look for something in the DRS.
It's a lag, because like he's fully past him. I don't know what's happened there, but yeah. Bradders just fly past him, literally just before they even enter the Kemmel, just at the top of Eau Rouge, and yeah, look how much time he's losing. He's just having to be so careful. He's lagging really bad. He's all over the place. The cars just behind cannot even fully push because they don't know where he's even going. I think as far as, yeah, from what I believe, Sean said he's not at his home, so whether he's having some dodgy Mackies in there today. Probably, I don't know, it's one of those things that if it's going to affect that battle at the front, it's almost worth saying something because the front pack cannot fight at all. Like Campa here, like we watch the gap, 6 tenths. I imagine Turbo's going to go off here, he does, yeah, goes flying off again.
Yeah, so it's just going to keep taking your eye off it and throwing you off as you reach the corners and braking zones. Can't think he's doing that. I think one thing to, if he's listening and he gets a chance on one of the straights and make sure he's not got down over,
yeah.
That might solve the problem immediately. But it's all over the place when you're on board with him.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to look to move up the inside of Bradders or something sort of stuff. I say that, but he backs up.
Look at it, oh, this is awful, yeah.
He's going to stay behind.
But if you're defending, it's like you said, if you're racing against him, you've got no idea what the car is going to do. And if it's actually him, so yeah, Campa just choosing to take his normal line because he's got no idea where the car is.
Well,
like he's just gone
suddenly. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, can't even see where he's going. I don't know if that's a retirement or an early pit stop, but running in clear air, there might be a bit better for this stage of the race just to get him out of the way and have a proper fight here. Campa then will have DRS then, keep Bradders in touch with this pack behind, breaking the train now with Robert as well, who's on the mediums. He's now 1.3.
Very early pit stop though as well, it should be set for a soft tyre.
5 laps, so. Yeah, 5-6 laps. I mean, you would obviously, yeah, you probably extend it by at least 2 or 3 more laps. I would see. Yeah, Chimp in the chat saying going to mediums already. It's very early. Like, to the point that you look at it and go, mediums will get to the end. They will not be in a good condition when he gets to the end.
Yeah, this certainly isn't your optimal pit lap. He's gone very early, which it's a bit of a strange one in a way, unless he just thought he could do that in the team now. But it's something if I was you, if I was him, I'd be sticking in the DRS then, trying to get dragged along a couple more laps. And then, because most of them are still on mediums, then you can pit.
Yeah.
Well, I say that actually, no, there's quite a fair few on softs up there in the end.
Still a few, but yeah, like you said,
might have broke the gap though at top.
Just above that 1 second now, yeah.
That said, obviously both Alpines behind, so you'd imagine these two, if they work sensibly, can claw him back.
Robert's got a chance as well of getting back in this train as the mediums start to become that optimal race tyre at this stage of the race. Zarpa's 2.3 further back, so he's kind of doing his own thing. Although he has got Hugo, well, he's got both of the V-Cops for company right behind him, as well as Repsy Cully. He's had quite a good race so far to cut through. All the way out of quali ban, so he's come back through the field to then be on that edge of the point, so we'll see if he can't bring home some points. Got a little gap behind him to Slick though. And look at that though, the gap the gap, like we said earlier, is still there. 1.3 seconds. No DRS for Campa.
This is going to be a test here because it's going to be Rialdo's going to probably dump most of his battery using DRS.
To clear it.
Not really, okay, it's actually using his battery a bit there.
And Ali's not going to be close
I don't
enough.
think they've really made much of a dent into it. I mean, look at that, still 1.6.
Yeah. Manic gets the 3 seconds there as well, joins the crew. This is just what he wanted then in terms of this stage of the race. He's got a nice little gap behind him. And he's on the optimal tyres, considering he can probably do another, well, if he really wanted to, he could do another 5-6 laps on these tyres, compared to the softs that are getting to the point now that softs will be starting to think about a pit stop in the next coming laps, so whether that is to go onto the mediums or the hards, so we'll have to wait and see what tyres people do choose to chuck on. Alpine's very close to each other here.
Yeah, the only issue Brad is going to have is, well, similar to what we saw with Jatin last week, Jatin trying to have to work his way through the pack and grab the tyres, and really in the end, I mean, we can't spend time separating fighting. I think didn't you just stand there, I think mostly, you lost a fair bit of time.
Yeah.
That realistically cost him a shot at winning the race. So brothers need to be careful when it comes to it to make sure he clears a lot of people. But that said, they're getting a free penalty. I mean, it'd be good news to him.
Alpine switching position going into the bus stop again. Campa goes a bit deep. Hampering their... Look at that, they've lost another 10.
From behind as well and lost the position to Robert.
Wow. So what Chimp said just now in chat, like, despite them DRSing and working together, they're continuously losing time. So it is at that point now where mediums are the better tyre, so the softs will be losing time now from even if they're working together and playing the team game. They just cannot do anything in terms of clawing him back in.
Both Richie and Orchid are into the pits further down the order. I would imagine one of the Alpines will probably come in towards the end of this lap, unless maybe they're both pushing another lap and two.
No overtake on this occasion as well, as Robert is in right up behind then on the medium. So we'll see if Robert can try and push up as well and make a dent further forwards. I don't know if it will get to the point now where Robert is on the mediums himself, whether he can clear both Alpines and see if he can be the leader in this little pack, to see if he can reconnect this chasing pack up to Bradders, who's now 2.9 seconds clear at the front.
Obviously Turbo's the man who's already pitted, but he's now 2.5 behind Slick and Ghostface, so he's going to quickly be approaching. I mean, there's two drivers who might need to Slick on medium and Ghostface on hard. Whether or not they're going to end up losing a bit of time, or if he can when he gets to navigating quickly. So yeah. Just see how much he's going to drop them by when everyone comes into the pit.
Here he goes then. I don't know if Robert's going to go for a move. He is. Doesn't even really touch his battery at this stage. It is on a hot lap though, so has got a little bit of a boost compared to the Alpines currently, who would... to be fair, Campa is using hot lap as well, but it's just that slipstream effect that's dragging Robert through to the Alpines pit. No, both stay out again. All in this pack stayed out. 3.2 that gap now, so Braddock's doing everything he needs to at this stage of the race, building that gap up. Nitro's in the pits behind though, getting off those softs, so it is got to that point now that the softs runners will be coming into the pits. Robert's almost got too much of a toe going. Eau Rouge, look at it, he's almost pushing Campa up Eau Rouge. He's going to get a lovely toe, guaranteed position at this point. Through he goes then.
Yeah, Campa's not going to fight this one hard because there's no point in even trying to block it off. It's easily done.
Yeah. Alpines as well, holding formation for now. Brielza thought about making a move, but just stays behind for now. They've pulled a slight gap as well to Ali, who's also on the softs and seemingly struggling behind a bit with Gremic before we then have that gap down to Zafa at 4.086. Just on this lap alone, I mean, Robert's doing a good job to kind of maintain that gap. So, Cooper saying, what happened to Chocolate Ada? There may have been a collision with Manic to send them both into the wall on the opening lap. Same with, who else went off? Ghostface, wasn't it? Ghostface is actually doing quite well.
Yeah, went off. Yeah, Ghostface didn't need to pit there or make a wing change, so that's the difference between those. Obviously, he's still in.
Yeah, still good pace there to kind of somewhat reassemble himself and then get back into the in the running order, because they're only 2.3 behind Hugo, and he's ahead of Slick, who's obviously yet to do a pit stop as well.
But Campiasso's broke the DRS behind as well. Obviously, he's on the medium tyres, so putting into good work.
I think we're going to see an Alpine in this lap.
Yeah, I think surely now they're going to alternate one of them in.
Now that they've realised as well, that the gap is gone. Yeah, one goes in there. Yeah.
I think for a moment Campa thought about it, and then Rialto made the late call when he realised that Campa was going in.
Ali follows him in as well. So we'll watch this gap as well to see where they come out in relation to Turbo. Where is Turbo?
Well, Turbo's along the pit lane now, down the main straight, so he's going to be quite far ahead.
Obviously, he's going to gain a bit of time through turn 1. I don't think it's going to be as big as that, considering the undercut he's gone for. This gap is not going to be that big at all, really, considering the time that he's...
It's going to be a fair amount, I think.
It's a pit cut as well for Brielza on the exit.
Detective. I think 8 seconds.
Yes,
and then obviously the one thing, Turbo got himself a 3-second penalty, but if Rialza's cut the pit lane, that evens that one out, and then obviously Ali's already on the penalty.
Yeah. Where is he? So he's somewhat caught the back, he's so far he's in Slick. As they continue to scrap. Bits of gaps have opened up here as everyone's now getting into that pit window.
I think the one thing is though, there's about 8 seconds between those. Bradders is probably another 4 or 5 seconds up the road from Rialza.
Yeah.
So you're talking at the moment, Bradders is roughly going to be about 3-4 seconds back from Sean when he gets on much fresher tyres and quicker tyres.
Gonna fly past him surely.
Yeah, I think right now it's looking like it's going to be in the hands of Bradders to go chase him down. What's happening at the front here. It's going to be interesting to see what the likes of Bradders and Robert do, whether they are now going for a medium soft or whether they, any point now they can chuck it in and go for the hards and go for the end. So it's whether they're opting for that or. So here comes Campa. I imagine Gremic's going to follow him. Yeah, in comes Gremic, follows in his former teammate. Good week last time around. Gremic's going very slowly into the pit lane.
Yeah, it lost a lot of time. Almost hit turned on the limiter very early. Don't know if he's even, he's going to lose a lot of time there compared to
I think he may, if they were in DRS, I wonder if he's even going to miss DRS.
Well, yeah, he lost
really
a lot
was
of
at
time.
the limit for some time.
Right, here comes Campa then. Out he comes nicely within the limits as well. Same with so look at those gaps then. In terms of Ali, one little undercut, then he's 7/10 up the road, so worked out beautifully for Ali. Sean's lost a bit of time this lap. I don't know if that's lag. Oh yeah, he's lagging all over the place. 1.8 now up the road from Slick, who we saw him inside of last lap, so going well so far on those tyres then, I suppose.
From though you have with your reality and Ali, yes, they've managed to pull off the undercut and gain the position for now, but they've not broke the DRS.
Yeah. So they've just got the people that they were fighting literally directly behind them still. So realistically, it's given them the immediate track position, but in terms of the actual fight, they hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, it's not a huge advantage at that point. So Turbo's catching the traffic and he's just lagging everywhere at the moment. So whether or not they're just going to be ghosted for him, he's going to
drive through
have a nice easy time, yeah.
That'd be scummy if he can just drive through them. He's lagging so bad. See what happens towards the front as well, obviously. 2.3 that gap between Bradders and Robert, so Robert having a very good stint on these mediums. I imagine, so Robert's in already, so I imagine he's going for a little 10 lap stint then on the softs to end this race off. Hugo gets a 3 seconds, so I'm not going to aid his quest of trying to come through the fields. got Zafa and Slick all in, so a lot of people now opting for the. We are now in the pit window for a lot of people in. Where does Robert come out? He could come out in a nice little gap here, just behind. Look at that then. So yeah, he's on fresh tyres. It's on the hards, but 10 laps on the hards. I mean, I don't understand why he's really gone for the hards and then gone long on the mediums. I don't know if he's had a little error there, as we look like Campa could get past Ali here. He's going to go side by side. No, he's not going to get him unless he breaks late and goes around the outside. Oh, Ali goes deep himself, nearly squeezes Campa off track, but a good defending there from Ali, just doing what he needs to do, hold that position, but it's going to cost him potentially. In terms of Rialzo, what's happening further back as well. Zafa's coming just ahead of Rupsy on fresh tyres as well, so I imagine Zafa's going to be able to leg it away and try and get on the back of Nitro's. Got 3 lap old tyres as well on those mediums.
Turbo's got another couple of positions this lap, but I mean, at the end of last lap he caught up to the back of Hugo, but it looked like he may have gone into the back of Hugo, and Hugo did have a bit of a moment after. It's always tough to tell when it's last, but whether or not he's been involved in something there. Hugo was right in the back of Ghostface as well, but yeah, whether or not there's been contact there, it's so tough to tell when he's
lacking as much as he is, yeah, it's impossible to
race.
race.
I can certainly tell on my screen it looked like he was going to pretty go free guy and murder him, but
for him it obviously didn't look like that, but it's that whole thing, isn't it, of like we have penalised people in the past for lag if it's blatant lag, and it depends how you know if you can get away with it. If it's just
Campa looks good with Valley on the exit of the bus stop.
Hugo's in the pits as well. We'll see where Hugo comes out. Manic gets 3 seconds as well, so we'll see where Manic slots in. He was kind of in a, where did he come in relation to his teammate? Nigel's coming down the pit lane, the pit straight now. He wants to kind of be in this mix with Zafa. I think he was ahead of Zafa, so he's going to come out behind Zafa, so it might be at the back of this little train here. Oh, he slots in within the DRS train, so not too bad for Hugo. On the softs as well, so we'll see what Hugo can do. The only real man on the soft so far, we've got Ghostface and Brad is still yet to pit. So that's going to be something to look out for.
Yeah, I'd imagine Brad is in this lap.
Yeah.
But you're talking what, I think you're probably talking about, I think pit's going to be like 8 seconds or so to catch up.
Yeah.
And that's going to involve having to get through, well, probably that whole DRS train back from Rialzo.
It's going to be an interesting one to see how much pace the people have towards the end of this race, because it's like you said, the gap will be there, but the tyre deficit will also be there for the people that have pitted earlier. So I think it is possible to reel them in, but it's just it's whether you back yourself to actually get the moves done on track. So just time will tell. Cut to Bradis then as he comes around Blanchemont to see, does he opt for this to be his pit lap?
And if so, is this going to be the weekly Bradis pit lane cut?
I mean, we'll watch him and see. Get your bingo cards ready. And he comes then, I'm guaranteed to be softs at this point. If it's not softs, then he's completely bottled his strat.
He normally has to stream on, doesn't he? So
come on, brothers.
Behave, but...
Brothers.
So after retires, that's on track and there's a safety car.
Oh! And he's going to lose a lead. Wow, but I mean, it depends what everyone does then, doesn't it? In terms of, oh no, he still keeps the lead. To be fair, it was just what Sean.
Sean's
he's missed
through,
it.
But it saved him dropping behind this whole DRS thing.
Oh.
And he might immediately inherit the lead if Sean decides to pit.
Obviously, he should do as well, because what 8 lap old mediums. We've already said that the mediums are probably, they will make it to the end, but his tyres are going to be cooked to the end. And he's on people that have just pitted behind, 5 lap deficit, and I mean he's got Bradders on fresh softs directly behind him.
But so far, everyone else then who's everyone else has pitted, I believe, that could have pitted. I think this is going to be the big one, and I have a feeling Sean will come into the pit lane. If not, then Brad is going to be sat right behind him on the fresh softs.
I think it's gutted, isn't it? Catella says, Reese, check your phone. I think he has to pit though. I don't see a world where he doesn't pit. I just think he would lose so much time if he chose not to pit, because everyone behind him is on fresher tyres. And around Spa, when you look at how much lap time you're doing, you're just going to lose so much time in terms of what?
Yeah,
6,
I
7?
think I would come in about it. Of course, the worry is if suddenly the rest of DRS trains.
Oh yeah.
You imagine everyone's going to be in. I suppose the thing that's going to impact it is that Ali won't have to double stack some of the brands just to put, but the Alpines will be double stacking. The Williams had enough of that. So,
Yeah, so
in reality, it's probably going to end up losing out a place to Ali, Robert, and Gunner. Sean's in.
What does the Alpines do? In, yeah, Alpine, but both Alpines in. Bradders is why is Bradders coming? He's just got onto those tyres.
Well, no, he's got another set of softs.
But there's no need. Like, at that point.
And Ali's still staying out, so he's responding because he didn't want to double stack.
Yeah, Bradders has bottled this. Yeah, Driller's in the chat saying he's sold. Yeah, he's done 1 lap on those softs. Softs can do 9 laps.
Well, so Ghostface, Gremick, and Robert and Ali all stay out. Whereas he would have had the lead if he decided to not to pit that.
I don't understand. I don't understand why. That's because then now you're wanting us. Well, you have to get the moves done. Someone like Gremick, he's only got 4 laps on those mediums. The mediums are, they're still in decent nick.
Yeah, I think for the sake of 5 positions in the end of it. There's no point in pitting just to take off the laps well.
I would have stayed out.
A couple of interesting decisions he made today. First of all, he went so early on his final quali lap as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then we've had this, and I just wonder whether or not he just followed the strategy a bit. So we'll see. I mean, the one thing to say, he's shown pure pace. That might mean he could still make up for this and get through the people, but not that he's nobody gone for.
Yeah, so Brad is in the chat saying he wanted to be on the same set of tyres. But the one thing he's failed to recognise is that he's now got car in between him and Sean. And it's not like Ghostface's tyres have completely fallen off the cliff. He's got 1 lap on mediums. And the mediums in 7 laps, by the end of the race, they could be the better side to be on. So
I think his pure pace might make up for what he decided to do. But I think in terms of the quickest strategy would have just been, stay out to
yeah. Wow, spicy end to this then. They've got 7 laps left. Chocolate in the chat saying saving it. But he is back in it. So the people at the back, Manic as well, I imagine the safety car is going to do 1 more lap to let Manic catch up. But everyone at the back and back in the fight. Chocolate without a pen and stuff, so just by default he's already looking like he's on for points today. Even he was, dribbling around at the back. Yeah, Rubsy in the chat as well saying softs are good for 5 laps. But a better tyre for 5 laps. Really good for the first 3, and then after the next 2 they kind of fall off. I mean, they to some degree, but I don't know. I still think if you're Brothers, you stay out on those tyres.
Yeah, I think he's now saying he's sold. But I mean, like I said, if there's one man I think today he's shown the pure pace again.
Yeah.
So it's a case of he might make up for what he's got to do. But I just think he's certainly made himself having to do this to Harbour. Realistically, the fight probably will be just between him and Turbo. So before you know it, it might be 1 overtake immediately, and he's alongside Turbo basically.
Literally, yeah. Obviously, with a bit of slipstream as well, these cars all do clear. Ali, Robert, and Gremick. Just naturally, with a bit of slipstream, you should be able to fly past them. Let's see. Still time for overtakes to take place. Plenty of racing left. The Spa being as long as it is as well. 15 cars left. Only 1 retirement so far. Brad is as well acknowledging that he's got a good set at full straight line speed, which will can come in handy at this point in the race.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's still a chance he'd go on and win this because you're talking in front of him. 4 of the drivers are on a slower set of tyres. You expect to get down the end turns between him and Sean anyway, and that's Sean with a penalty. But he's just certainly made it a bit more difficult for himself. The one thing under Duff is obviously having to go get the move done is potentially being involved in an incident that he wouldn't have had if he was in the lead.
Ali has got a pen as well. Worth saying that him and Sean, regardless of what happens then at the front, there's like, I think they got 3 seconds. Yeah, 3 seconds. Slick, Awkward, and Manic all have 6. So just naturally, I mean, we'll have to see whether 2 stops is up for Sean. A couple of people with 2 stops. Only 1 stop for Ghostface, Grimmick, Robert, and Ali. So that's worked out beautifully for them in terms of their connection to this front pack. They've been able just to fly and benefit well from that.
Safety cars in this lap as well, which I think we were expecting.
Can one Esteban help me?
It gives it a nice vertical.
Yeah.
I know what this game could be like, so we've had plenty of time to let the thing run away.
It's going to be interesting to see what Ali does, whether like how early it goes, because I don't know how much he wants to play the team game, but he could be very generous here to his teammate and give Brothers the best chance to kind of fly up good and catapult himself up to the back of Sean and be that highest up soft runner. I think he has to go as late as possible.
No, I mean, sometimes you see people try to get them out of the bus stop, don't you? Because realistically, you can't. Yeah, here we go.
Very early. Safety car is, fully in, so... And so far, he's got a nice little gap going to Robert. Like, he's gone. Robert's not even at the apex of the second part of bus stop here. He's got a 1.2 second lead, so very good restart from Ali, doing everything he needs to do. Behind Ghostface, he dropped a bit behind Sean as well.
Grimmick hits Robert as well around the corner slightly. Nothing really bad.
Yeah, just a little push. But
that said, it's slowed him on the exit speed, and it's now Sean alongside him. They're going to go off a roof side by side. And, I don't know what's happened now with the lag.
Somehow they both survived, and they haven't really lost too much time out. Chocolate, he was saying he's been sent back into this race, but immediately gets a 3-second penalty that's going to drag him down. And look, all 6 cars at the bottom there with 3 seconds next to the name or more. So Chocolate just needing that.
To move up the inside of Ghostface well, but Ghostface defends it really well, just about losing enough space, and managed to hold the position with the outside line.
Sean's internet here is benefiting him really, because he's just ghosting through Grimmick. Grimmick did well there to hold out, but he's lost the position there because he's effectively just been driven through, which is a bit frustrating as he gets another
3-second penalty from it.
So regardless of what happens now, you imagine that's Sean now fully cooked for a chance of the win. So it is all looking behind then. So him and Ali look to be out of the picture for the win. So it's what Robert can do. He's falling back. He's got a yellow flag towards the back.
Yeah, 2 nitrogens dropped right back. Whether or not he took damage on this, what actually happened? No, it started intact, but obviously he's been right down the order and probably out of the unless there's another safety car, pretty much in out of it.
There's still a slight chance, obviously, with penalties up ahead, but the gap's already at 6 seconds, so he's got a chance to still jump in 1 or 2. He could slim down massively going into the bus stop, so flick back.
A few tyre touches around the bus stop, whereas Brad is trying to work for the order. Hugo's out of the race, but Brad is up to 4th, and the big thing is in front of him, it's still not broken the DRS.
Yeah, Sean's just all over the place really, just can't get any momentum going with his lag. Dropped back even more, losing more positions then as Ghostface goes past him. And in amongst all that, Brothers.
His DRS along here, but up to P2 as Ali and Robert go side by side.
Ali doing brilliant teamwork,
yeah.
Held behind Robert. Got so much more speed compared to Robert, considering the tyre disadvantage as well. Nitros, I don't know if Nitros had a moment because he retired on the first. Hugo retired on fifth. Fully round. I don't know if he's. I think he's pulled aside
out of his lag.
I think he's realised that he just cannot race against these people because just for his own sake, I just don't think he can literally just manage it. So here it goes. Then it's 2 Aston Martins up against the Red Bull. Grimmick and both. To be fair, both Williams and both Alpines still fully in this fight, so could get very tasty in these last 4 laps or so.
Could be big for the championship as well, because Fred on the ties is in a very solid position here to try and look to win this race.
Brothers,
look at this.
Brothers went for a crazy move just going into sector 3 there, just wasn't really ever on. Nearly sent both of them into the wall. Oh, they're both in the wall!
That's
Ghostface and Brothers.
Race, and Brothers.
Safety car again.
Safety car. Brothers drops right down the order there.
And he's missing half his wing.
Yeah, so he's going to have to come in and pit again.
Who comes in? Gremmick's in, but he's going to go all the way to the back. Bradders is just in naturally because he has to fix his damage.
Well, just as I was saying, that was looking like it could be huge for the championship with Bradders potentially on push on and win the race. I mean, really, from the position he's at, it's somehow all falling apart just like that. And before you know it, I mean, it's going to be Campa who's... Well, so
Again.
Campa's just run into the back of Robert though, he wasn't looking.
Has he got any damage?
Oh,
He's
no,
got a 10-second penalty. I mean, realistically, those do. There's some wings gone there as well. I don't know if that's from Slick, but I did see some wing go flying around.
Yeah, as long as Robert's not damaged his rear wing or something, those do come off. But he went into back in with some speed.
Slick's got... He's missing half his wing.
That's it. The safety car has to do another lap after this. So Slick will still have a chance to fit and catch back up. Obviously, with a penalty, you don't really want to be dropping down here when you do further.
It's painful for Ali because his race was good.
That would just be a 10-second swing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's got 16. Oh.
It's painful for Ali because he had a nice little gap. I mean, it was still very tight towards the front, but he was doing all right, managing the fight that he was doing. But that penalty is just going to drag him so far down now. I mean, I say that a lot of people do have penalties behind, but even the likes of Gremic, Bradders and Lecture, even though they are at the back on track with so little racing left. You imagine they've at least got P5 on the cards, P5 and above.
Yeah, well, Ali, it's the 3 behind him, isn't it, that you're looking at thinking, assuming the Campa penalty comes off, they're the 3 without penalties that will be behind him, so it could mean that he slides off the podium after such a great drive, but we'll see whether or not he can somehow make the gap.
It's a safety car. I imagine a safety car could be in this lap. Gives us 3 laps of racing left. I might do one more.
It has to do a certain amount, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think I might do one more. In which case, that's even...
Where's the sector 3?
Yeah, past it, yeah, so we're doing one more.
Yeah. I think it's the whole group's together, so yeah, it would have called it immediately.
You've got a very hectic last 3, but by the time you come round, you had 2 laps. 2 laps of racing. Chocolade says show pens up short and pow. Plenty of pens on board, bearing in mind that someone like Slick and Campa should be able to get their 10 seconds removed if they do take it to the stewards. Awkward on 9, that's
Slick, I would assume back service for a wing change.
Oh yeah, which is, yeah. Plenty of pens still kicking around, so that, yeah, the likes of... I mean, Chocolada, even though he has got 3 seconds, he's at least knowing he should be able to stay ahead of Awkward Manic, Slick. So that's 3. That's at least points then on the table, as long as he doesn't, end in a wall. But Robert's still looking for it. I mean, I know he's on the worst tyres, but 2 laps, full tank of ERS, already 5 laps on Campa's soft. Same with Rupsy, got 6 on his, but I mean, he does have a pen. And I don't know, it's...
If you're talking tyres, I think you want to be in Rouser's position in terms of the tyres. They only put 5 laps in the medium, so I think they'd hold out better for the last few laps in the soft. But, I mean, that said, sure you prefer the track position at this point. If I say that, then it's also double the age of the tyre, isn't it? I don't know whose position you really want to be in.
Yeah, I think naturally you probably rather still be on the softer tyres, but I mean, you need to make the move immediately because I don't think the life is really there. I mean, 2 laps, you go 7 laps, like you can, the stuff will still be good enough, but it's one of those things. It's a sense of urgency and how quickly you get these moves done. Both the Alpines, whether the Alpines can work together as well, just to cook up again. Doing well both in the top 5, and with pens and stuff, you'd imagine they probably stay there. So again, they're going to walk away with an even bigger lead in the constructors, because you look at all the other constructors. I mean, who's in the fight? If I bring up the constructors order really quick to have a look at it, it's Williams, who they've only got 1 car. Gremic will have a good race out of this, but he's towards the back.
I think even then though, like the impact this could have on the drivers, of course, it's being asked earlier whether or not riders will be knocked out of competition. We're not at that stage yet at all, but this could be a significant shifting point for that. He won't mathematically be out of it, but this could be a huge sort of race for Campa.
Considering Campa is 35 clear already and he's looking good for a win. And Brad is, like you said, I think he's saying in the chat he needs to have the race of his life, to come through the order here. And to beat Campa, to close that gap down, I think it's a near impossible task, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
I mean, there's plenty in front of him with penalties. If he can work through a couple, I mean, you can imagine this could easily be a 10-point swing though if down in Campa.
Yeah.
What you say was that already?
35, yeah. I mean, it's not looking good.
Addy's getting going.
Oh, gets a bit narrow on the exit of the bus stop, and it's, so to be fair, he's actually pulled a nice little gap to Robert, who messes up behind.
This one, Campa's the one who's going to look for the outside line on Robert. It's quite enough space, he's not going to go for
Hope he's to get very close. Oh, and Chocolada catches the back of Rupsy. They're going to go side by side, squeeze them into the wall.
For that though, it's already created a big gap. I mean, it's still a whole lot to break it, but Rupsy's forced off there, so he reports that 3 seconds to get a move.
We go flying off track at the top of Rouge. Awkward gets cut off at the top of Rouge, going onto the Camel as well from aggressive defending from Rupsy. Him and Chocolade are just going through a bit of head loss right now. Yeah, look at that. It's crazy send from Rupsy. Gets flicked around. Ali's still doing what he needs to do there, holding out Robert. Robert doing what he needs to do behind as well. 1 lap left when we get to the conclusion of this. I don't know if the DRS will flick on, won't it?
Yeah, we're going to have 1 lap of the DRS right at the end. Of course, on the ovals, and we wouldn't have had it at all, but we will have it on the final lap.
Here they go then. Whether there's a run down towards the bus stop as well. Robert's going to get a beautiful little, but it's whether you want to be ahead. I don't think you do. It's what happens with the Alpines behind, because Campos looks like, he thought about a move there, going down into sector 3, but thinks better of it. He's actually choosing to burn his ERS around that corner. Whether he's going to try and push for a move, he's on hot lap, so I don't know whether he's trying to get aggressive.
Because of Andy's penalty though, he's not going to care about the DRS chicken, he just wants the best race time out of it.
Yeah.
So he's going to look to defend the inside line here, but Robert's going to go around the outside.
Oh, contact, and he's half spun.
Yeah.
That's not what you want, because then you've got a potential report hanging over you. And always there's a McLaren fully round at the back as well. Awkward. I don't know if he got spun or he's lost the car.
Well, he was round at lap 2 or something. It's lap 2 or 3 at turn 1, and round again right at the end after safety car potentially going to save him.
Brad is in 7th though, but it's all action at the front then as we turn up to see what happens. Ali down in P4's end, Awkward retires down the main straight, which is a shame. But yeah, Campa, plenty of euros left to burn. Flies past both Alpines. Looks like it could be an Alpine 1-2 then.
Realzo's not burning, he's turned off, he's playing the team game. I don't know, he's going to look for a move himself there and try, well I say that, but maybe just fancies a move down the back.
Yeah.
And,
Unfortunately for Robert, I just don't think he's going to have anything to fight back as well. Tyre deficit and not really much ERS to play with as well, so I think that could be it. Could be another Alpine 1-2 on the way. Oh, and there's a little moment from Ali as well, whether he got pushed around, but got Chocolada. He runs into the back of him and goes wide actually. Tries to hang it around the off track around Pouon. He's going for another move there. Oh, Bradis and Chocolada come together and they're both
Chocolade's off.
Yeah, he's in the ball. Looked for an aggressive move on Ali, that was never going to work. We cut back to the front though to see if Rialza does choose to leave his teammate in the dust. He's burning his ERS. Both are. It's whether they send it. I don't know if Rialza's got enough in the tank.
Is Rialza going to look for it? He is, isn't he? Yeah, he's going to drive it round the outside.
Robert's getting involved as well. It's whether they go deep or cut back to Robert. Oh, Robert's off.
Oh, they come together, Campus fall slightly wide here.
Rialza's going to win. Rialza wins on track then. Massive gap behind opening up. Robert does get P2, but that penalty from Campa will be able to get removed. Brallas ends up having to settle for what will become P5 just ahead of his teammate Ali, who will get P6. Beef with the Alpines across the line, whether that goes to the... Imagine that goes to the stewards room.
I was going to say, there was slight contact and exit, Campa being forced wide, so whether or not he's going to try and cut something in. But whether or not there's enough in that, I mean, we're going to have to find out if it does get thrown in.
Wow. There it is then, Manic. I don't understand how Manic is still complete, even though we've had 2 laps of racing, he's somehow 40 seconds behind. But Manic, the only car then without points today, as we've only got 11 finishes today. Rupsy get P10 in the end. A couple of penalties look like they could get removed in the streets room as well. A couple of pit lane. Oh, Riaz's got his pit lane cut though, hasn't he? I just remembered that.
Yeah.
That's gutting.
I suppose that solves it having to go to the stewards room, but yeah.
Wow. A couple of things happening in the post-race again. More stuff looking like it won't end here in Tier 2. It will roll on another week, roll on another day until we fully decide and can tell you all who's won that race and what the actual full classification is. But it is an Alpine yet again standing on top. But which one, though, after we'll have to wait and see which one actually gets the victory. I imagine, just based on initial reaction, it is going to be Campa with his 4th win of the season. But
if that's the case, that's going to put Bradders up to the podium as well. Considering the position he was in, he'll happily take the podium, I think.
Yeah, considering the situation, that's not too bad, really. But there is your order then. Even though penalties will mix this up, it's Riazzo, Robert, Gremic, Bradders, Ali, Nitro. We'll go back into P6. A good race for Nitro, considering he was at the back on the restart. Chocolade, Campa, Slick, Rupsy are your point scorers. Manic, the only car without points, and then retirements are Awkward, Sean, Ghostface, Hugo, and Zafa. Zafa obviously retiring in the wall that caused this whole kerfuffle that happened right at the end. So, wow, what a crazy end to this race.
Actually, clocked it. No, it won't be Bradders, will it? Because obviously, this assuming Campa gets his 10 seconds removed, so he's just going to swap essentially. So it'll still be P4. So it's still assuming it goes that way and nothing else has happened, you'd imagine it's going to be another swing in the point tally at the top of the championship.
Wow, yeah, as well. Potentially a big day then, looking at both the constructors and the drivers. So we roll on to next week, and we've obviously still got a sprint race on the horizon as well. So still big points potentially on the cards. And talking about sprints, it is actually next week then that we head to China for a sprint, before we go to Suzuka and then round things off with Abu Dhabi. So still an opportunity for big points. So it's not fully done yet. Just whether Bradders can have a big weekend in China and claw that back, because you imagine that deficit, like you said, has grown yet again. So
yeah, he needs Campa to have an absolute nightmare of a race to really.
Yeah, a retirement realistic. You need a big swing.
Yeah.
But rolls on to next week then. We'll have a look how things go. If you want to watch Tier 2, we've got a sprint racing in Tier 1 next up. Tier 2 obviously back at usual time next week. But yeah, Tier 1 on next. Alex will look after you there. So if you want to stick around and watch that, please feel free to do so. If you just want to watch Tier 2, 6 PM Friday UK time. Again, we go again in China next week. So if you just want to watch that, we will see you then Friday next week. Goodbye.